Shalom Aleichem. We're going to talk more about Rosh Hashanah. There will be the part 2, Bezrat Hashem. And we'll continue. We're on Sunday already, Tuesday. Monday night is already Rosh Hashanah. Amazing. Comes so fast, unbelievable. It seems like time is just running much faster than it used to be. And that can be understood from Hashanah. There's two ways that Mashiach is going to come. Either on its time, which is the end of 6,000, or Hashanah is Hashem is going to fasten up the pace a little bit. And we're feeling that. The pace is going faster and faster. Time looks like it became shorter and shorter. The years are becoming shorter. It's not imagination. That's the way it is. HaKadosh Baruch Hu we're going to a process of Hashanah where things are going much faster and faster every year. And look at the processes that are going on today. Such huge changes that would have taken, 50 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever it is. Maybe 20 years ago, these processes will take a lot of time. Today, big changes are going on in a very short time. Look at, for example, at Europe, and the world, how it's changing. So many Muslims came to Europe or so and changed the whole demographics of Europe. It's going on also in the States. And many ideas are changed, from democracy to whoever, to Muslims, to all kinds of things are going on. It's a big turmoil that's happening now. And this is all in the program. It's all in the program of the coming of Mashiach. There's a lot of anti-Semitism. There's a reason for that. Because Hashem said, look in Parashat Nitzavim, even if you'll be in the furthest point in the world, I'll take you from there and bring you to Israel. It's happening. The process of coming to Israel is starting. And it's going to continue, and it's going to be faster and faster. Anti-Semitism is doing that. Hashem is putting anti-Semitism in the Goyim's heart to bring Jews back to Israel. Until the final coming of Mashiach, Bezrat Hashem, that's written in the books, and we can see it in front of our faces. That's what's going on. So we shouldn't be worried. We should be happy that the processes we're going into the direction of Mashiach. There's going to be a lot of turmoil, but with this turmoil, there's going to be a lot of corrections, and corrections are also always good. Always good. It's always for the better. They're hard, yes, but if you understand you're in the middle of correction, then you know that you're going into a good thing, Bezrat Hashem. Okay. Let's talk about personal stuff in Rosh Hashanah. Things that are happening to people, and these things people don't talk about it so much. I'm going to talk about little points in Rosh Hashanah that are very practical points, very rare, because you don't hear about them a lot. But we have to talk about it because this is what's going on in a lot of the prayers of Rosh Hashanah. One of the things that happen in Rosh Hashanah, a person might have a Rosh Hashanah that's fantastic. What do I mean? He feels very close to Hashem in his prayers, and everything is going fine. He feels that he's completely dependent on Hashem, which is really the idea of Rosh Hashanah. And he's close, and he's even crying, and his tears are coming out in the prayers. And he had a great Rosh Hashanah. On the other hand, he might come to a Rosh Hashanah where his heart is completely blocked. He's trying to feel something, nothing is coming out. He feels he's blocked, he feels he's away from Hashem, and then he starts getting depressed. He cannot cry, the tears are not coming out. The psukim look far from him. How do we react in this situation? Because feelings, many times, are not up to us. Many times the feelings are coming. Sometimes they come and we feel very close to Hashem. And sometimes there's no feelings. It's a very regular, it's always up and down in everything, this world. So, let's talk about that and see what happens. Most of the Gedolim say, big sages say that many times when we're dry and we feel that we're away from Hashem, Chas v'Shalom, and we don't feel the psukim, we don't feel the prayers, and then instead of fighting it and saying, why am I not crying, and start criticizing myself, what's happening with me, what's going to happen, maybe Chas v'Shalom it's going to be a bad year then, and all these thoughts are coming in. These are all thoughts from Yetzer Hara, from the other side. He comes to us, he shouldn't come to us, Chas v'Shalom, and he says, you see, you're far, you're not crying, what a year you're going to have, Chas v'Shalom. Look at last year what happened, and the Ari says that if a person doesn't cry in Rosh Hashanah, then he doesn't have a neshama, and all these thoughts might be coming, but it's all from the Yetzer Hara. Everything. Listen to this. If a person accepts the situation that he's in, every second in his life, and he says, this is what Hashem wants me to do now. What? To pray without tears. And I accept this situation because it's only for me, it's coming from Hashem. I accept it, and I'm going to pray the way Hashem wants, the way the situation Hashem puts in front of me. Believe it or not, it says in the books that if a person accepts the situation and says this is from Hashem, I'm going to pray the way that I feel now, I'm going to pray, and I'm doing what Hashem wants me to do. It may very well be that this prayer that he's praying without tears, he would have an amazing year, more than the year where he was crying and felt very close to Hashem. Why? Because if he can do that and accept it and not fight against Hashem, I want a situation where I'm going to cry. So you're dictating to Hashem what situation you should have. Hashem wants you to be in that situation. That's you now working in this situation, in this Rosh Hashanah. You accept it. You know it's for your good. You know it's from me. That's what I want from you. You're my servant. You're my son. Whatever I do is for your good. And I say, yes, Hashem. I know everything is for my good, even in this situation. Fum Sahara Agra, it says. We cannot dictate to Hashem the situations that will come to us. We only have to annul ourselves and accept every situation and serve Hashem through this situation. There was a situation here, there's a story that it says here, that there was an Avrech that every time he comes to the songs of Natna Tokef, every time he comes to that, he has tears pouring out and his heart is feeling so good with Hashem and all that. One year, there was a guy standing right next to him, and he sang this thing of Natna Tokef. He started singing it in a different music completely. And the music was completely off. I mean, there was a music that doesn't belong to those psukim even. And then there was a guy, a little kid, right behind him, kicking his seat all the time. Now, what does he do? In that moment, he said, "Oh, what is this kid? How come this kid came over here and he's kicking me? What am I going to do with him?" And then this music is completely off, and his thoughts completely went away from Rosh Hashanah, and he's starting to be bothered with the kid and the music of this guy that's next to him. And you know that exactly that's what he wants. He can take these thoughts and dig into that brain and go the whole 2 days of Rosh Hashanah. That's what you'll be thinking about. This kid ruined this Rosh Hashanah, and this guy with this music completely was off, and I had a chance to cry. I didn't cry, and the whole thing becomes a torture, Hashem Yishmor, to that guy. But you know, that guy said to himself, listen, if this kid is kicking my seat and this guy is doing different music, that's the situation that I'm in now. I have to work and to pray the way the situation is. That's what Hashem brought for him. This situation came to me. I don't know who this kid is. I'm not responsible to the guy with the music. But that's the situation I'm in. I'm going to pray. I'm doing the best I can. I look at the words. My heart goes to the words, and Bezrat Hashem, that's what Hashem wants me to do now. That's exactly the way we have to accept things. I'm saying it to myself, yeah? In our life, it's always like that. Money comes in, oh, it's not exactly what I thought. The food is not exactly what I thought. The health, Bezrat Hashem, only good things to all Jews in the world, all people in the world. But I'm saying, this is the situation, this is the test that I'm going into now to see if I'm a servant of Hashem, if I can annul myself and work with what I have, or am I now going to give conditions to Hashem? That's what I expected. I expected to have a quietness, and now this kid is bothering me, and this guy is doing all kinds of music. I didn't think this would be the way it is. How can you be a servant to Hashem if you tell him what to do? I have to accept everything that he did, everything that he does. And only that, I have to accept that it's all for my good. And this is now I'm going through a test to annul myself. Bezrat Hashem, nobody should go through tests. Yeah? But I'm just explaining things that can happen during the year. You know, another thing that we have to pay very close attention to in our lives, in a Jewish life, is to always look at the good points of all Jews that are in the world. Sha'arei Tshuva, which is a very, very important book to read before Rosh Hashanah, before Yom Kippur, very recommended to read it. Most Jews read it in Kolelim, Sha'arei Tshuva. It says over there two things. It says, how does a person know if he's in the right direction, if he's tzaddik, or if he's in the wrong direction, and he's Hashem Yishmor, the opposite? It says like this: if he has more pleasures of desires of life, of body, than spiritual desires, then he's in the wrong direction. A tzaddik has much more pleasure from closeness to Hashem than eating a big steak. For him, the steak looks ridiculous compared to that. And or to go to a restaurant, I'm not saying not to go, but the proportion, to relatively to how much pleasure a person gets from bodily pleasures, and here he's serving Hashem, and here he's doing his purpose, and here he's getting netzach netzachim forever, and here he's, okay. I said what I have to say, I did the prayer that I have to do, I did Mariv, I did Mincha, I did my duty, now let's go and eat that steak. should be always the opposite. The Ma'ariv should be much more than the steak. And the steak is only things that we're eating for bodily needs, that's all. That's the right way to look at things. According to the Torah, of course, according to the reality, the truth. So, B'ezrat Hashem, we should at least make an effort to get to that direction. I'll tell you something. The more a person learns Torah, the more he enjoys it. Try it, you'll see. If you learn a half an hour of Torah, you increase it to an hour, you'll want to learn more Torah. Because why? Because the neshama starts to light up. And you feel good. You feel that you're doing your purpose. You're getting close to Hashem. You know halachot. You know how to serve Him better. And if you go from an hour to 2 hours to 3 hours, why not? It's a mitzvah. Every word that we're talking about Torah is against 613 Taryag mitzvot. Every word of Torah is against 613 mitzvot. Can you imagine how much mitzvot we're doing? But besides that, you're getting close to Hashem. You start getting more confident about yourself, that you know what you're doing. You're going into Shabbat, you know the halachot. You know how to pray. You know how to bless. Hashem is happy. You're happy. And the steak and the yacht and the Mercedes becomes more and more irrelevant, because spiritual pleasure is much higher than physical pleasure, much higher. Physical pleasure just comes in, boom, like a firecracker, and then there is a big down. And then the person wants to, again, to feel something, he has to eat something, he has to go on a vacation somewhere. He goes to that vacation, he looks, beautiful mountain. How long can you look at the mountain? Okay, it's beautiful. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You finish with that, looking at it. Now what you going to do? So we're looking for another thing to make us happy now. Let's go to a restaurant. Let's go to see this, let's go to see that. But notice one thing. It's all small pleasures that finish. It's all small pleasures. And then there is a down, there's a firecracker that lights up. Then there's, after that, darkness, again emptiness, again loneliness, again desire to have more, but really it's empty and happiness. Spiritual happiness is completely different. Spiritual happiness is inside, it stays there. It stays there, and you want more of it, and you feel that it's benefiting you, and you feel like a Kadosh Baruch Hu in front of you. It's not a firecracker, it's a true happiness, B'ezrat Hashem. So let's do one thing. Let's decide, B'ezrat Hashem, all of us, to know Hashem more personally. To know Him personally. Just like a father. I have my father, but he's a distant father. I want to get close to my father. I want to love him more. I want to know him more. He's a father that loves me forever. It's a love that doesn't stop. I want my father. I want to know him. So start learning more. Saying about to me. Let's encounter him more. This only happens when we learn. When we learn for Shem Shamayim. What's Shem Shamayim? To understand him, to know him more. That's a direction. If a person comes in, and when the shofar blows in Rosh Hashanah, and the person says, Hashem, Abba, I want to know you more. I want to learn more. Let me have the chance to learn more. That's a huge, huge, huge thing to say in Rosh Hashanah. That might take the judgment and turn it around to the best action that could happen upstairs. Because we have to come with a decision in Rosh Hashanah. We have to say to Hashem, I'm taking upon myself to be better, bli neder, about this or that. If it's Lashon Hara, I'm going to learn and stop talking so much. But Torah is the best thing that a person can learn. Through learning Torah, he improves all over the place. With Lashon Hara, with where he looks, with the bodily desires. It's an improvement that improves all different aspects of a person's life. So we can say, Hashem, I want to learn more. I'm going to learn, instead of 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, 1.5 hours a day. You know what? 1 and another 15 minutes a day. That's also a huge thing. Hashem, I'm going to keep Shabbat. I'm going to see the halachot. I'm going to learn about halachot about Shabbat. I want to improve. Hashem, I'm going to respect my wife more. I'm going to pay attention to her more. My kids more. Maybe the biggest decision could be, I'm going to take the iPhone and throw it in the garbage. You know what a decision that is? That could turn the whole person. Can't imagine what a merit this person might have. And you tell me, well, I can't work without it. You have to know that there's a whole booklet that came out of millionaires that threw their iPhones out and they're just sitting with a kosher iPhone, and somebody else is telling them what he has to do with the iPhone. He's not looking at it. Seems weird. These days, I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, that the people who in Silicon Valley that invented all this stuff, they have a school for their kids where they don't have any iPhones. What's wrong? Why? Why not? Why should they see thousands of killings, thousands of violence, thousands of Lashon Hara, Avodah Zarah? What isn't there in that thing? So a person will tell me, no, but I'm learning a lot of Torah in that. No, you can't learn, you can't do a mitzvah through Avera. That's a rule. You want to do a mitzvah, has to be clean. It's funny to have thousands of averot, of sins, looking at all kinds of women and all kinds of this and all that, and then you say, I learned Torah through that. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. We can't fool ourselves. Torah is clean. We have to lead a clean life, clean thoughts, clean pictures, clean talking. Is there a bigger pleasure than that? There isn't. There isn't. So Bezrat Hashem, each one of us should make a decision. What am I going to improve this year? And through the shofar, when he has the shofar, he'll say in his heart, Hashem, I'm taking upon myself this and that. And Hashem says, why? Yeah? You want to come close to me? You want to come better? I'll give you all the tools that you need. What do you need? Another hour to learn? I'll give you more money. So you don't have to worry so much. And you'll learn another hour. You'll see it. You want to get closer to your wife? I'll give you all the tools to get closer to your wife. Kids, I'll open their hearts so that they'll listen to you. Hashem helps us. He wants us to correct, but we have to do the move. We have to do the first move. That's all he wants from us. We do a little poke, a little bit, picking it with a needle, making a small opening. And now we have a promise that he will give us a whole ulam. Ulam is like a huge, almost like a stadium, that he will open for us. All we have to do is want. All we have to do is want to change. We want Hashem more. We want Abba. It's enough with all this materialism and all this pleasures, ki'ilu pleasures. You see a lot of people that have so much money. On the other hand, their kids are in drugs, lo alenu, or they divorced 3-4 times because of all the money and all the ki'ilu pleasures that they have. And you see them bored, you see them uninterested, you see them worrying all the time that people are taking advantage of them. Somebody wants to be their friend, they say, no, he wants my money. This is life. I'm not saying it's bad to have money, but you have to know how to think. You have to be close to Hashem to make it work right with the money that the person has. To make a mitzvah out of it. Not be away from Hashem. So what's the good of this money if he's away from Hashem? If the money brings him to Hashem and he uses it to the right place, there's a good purpose in money. And always to see the good things, the good points in our friends. Because if we see the good points in our friends, Hashem will see always the good points in us. If we ignore and not deal with the evil things and deal only with the good things, the same thing will be upstairs. Hashem will look at us and look at the good things that are in us. The way we judge people here, that's the way Hashem judges us upstairs. If a person is always criticizing people, say, oh, you're such a tzaddik, you can criticize. Well, chas v'shalom, let's open the books over there and see, how high you are, so that you can go after everybody and criticize him. Let's criticize you. Let's see where you are standing. That if a person all the time turns the bad to good, upstairs they will do the same thing. Listen, this person, the way he is, he's always looking at the good. He deserves that we always look at the good also downstairs. Kaf zchut. That's the word. Kaf zchut. Also, another thing. Why does a person criticize other people? Why a person looks at other people and sees the bad things in him? Torah says like this. It says because these bad things are inside him. That's why he sees it in other people, with other people. But if he is a tzaddik and he's always looking at the good things, also inside him, he is good. So if we see something that a person did, it's because we are exactly like him, like that person. And we get mad because it's inside us. And the Neshama says, you see, this is you. No, it's him, it's not me. You saw it. You criticized him. It's inside you. That's the way it is. So I gave B'ezrat Hashem 3 different points of thinking. First of all, what we're coming out with Rosh Hashanah, what we're going to take upon ourselves to improve. Second thing, to always see the good in other people. And third thing, of course, is we want to get close to Hashem. That's our purpose in life. That's the only thing that matters in this world. Getting close to Hashem, that will give us everything.
We're going to have lectures today.
Everything that, not only that we want, everything that Hashem wants. Hashem yishmor etchem, should have a good year, Shana Tova, everybody. I'm sorry if I said something that was not in the right place. And should always have health, wealth, closeness to Hashem, nachat, happiness from the kids, and joy, and a lot of love for each other. Hashem yishmor etchem. Thank you.